All right, my seventh grade advanced class, let's go and look at this. Homework for 8.2 is to simplify the expression. Write your answers of power. Over here, I see I got 4 to the second power times 4 to the third power. When I have the same base and I'm multiplying, I'm allowed to add my exponents. So this would be 4 to the fifth power. Number 2 is for you to do. Number 3 says that I have x times y to the seventh power. This 7 gets multiplied to both the x and y. So this should be x to the seventh power, y to the seventh power. Number 4 is for you to do. Number 5, I have my years x. They want me to graph the data, and the items sold y. So they want us to show how much gets sold every year. I see there's an increase here by about 21, but the increase here is much more. This is not a straight line. So this is going to go up in segments, 216 to 237, up to 289, up to 304, and then look here, it spikes down to 255, and then increases up, and not at a line at different rates. So that's what my graph would look like for this particular set of data. Number 6 is for you to do. It says find the area. The model shows the length in units of parts of the rectangle. Use the model to find the area of the rectangle. If I'm doing number 7, I know since it's a length times width, that means it's going to be 2/3 times 5/4m plus n. You can see that's what they have here. 2/3 times 5/4m plus n. 2/3 times 5/4m. I can't multiply 2/3 to the m, but I can multiply to this fraction here. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 4 is 12. So now we have 10/12m plus 2/3 m. I can reduce 10/12 because they're both divisible by 2. This should be 5/6m plus 2/3 m. So the area of the rectangle is 5/6m plus 2/3 m square units. And that's as simple as we can put it. Now it says find the product. I have number 9 to do. If I'm taking 5w times w, that's going to be 5w to the second power. And 5w times 2 will be 5 times 2, that's 10w. So this is going to be 5w to the second power plus 10w. Number 11 is next. It says negative 7c times 2c. A negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. A c times a c is c to the second power. So this is going to be negative 14 c to the second power, and then negative 7 times 3, well, that's negative 21. So that'll be followed up with a negative 21c. So negative 14c to the second power minus 21c. Number 13 is next. I got negative 3b times b to the second power. Well, there's no numeral number in front of b, so it's going to be negative 3, and then b to the third power. Because remember, b times b to the second power is really b to the 1 power times b to the second power. And as long as my base is the same, I can add my exponents. All in all, this should be negative 3b to the third power, and then negative 3 times 5 will be negative 15. So that's going to be negative 15b. That leaves my answer, negative 3b to the third power minus 15b. Number 15 is next. 6y to the second power times y is going to be 6y to the third power. 6y to the second power times negative 3 will be negative 18y to the second power. 17 is next. Looks like I'm going to have to take this 3m and I'm going to have to distribute it to all of these because none of these can be put together. This 3m times m to the second power will be 3m to the third power. 3m times positive 5m will be positive 15m to the second power. And 3m times negative 8 will be negative 24m. And there we have our answer. 3m to the third power plus 15m to the second power minus 24m. Number 19 is next. I got negative 7 n to the third power times n to the second power, 2n to the second power plus 8n minus 7n. None of these are like terms. I can't combine them. but I can't distribute this property to everything in here. Negative 7n to the third power times 2n to the second power is going to be, well, negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. So this would be negative 14n to the fifth power. Now, negative 7 times positive 8 would be a negative 56. So this would be negative 56 n to the fourth power, because n to the second power times m to the first power is n to the fourth power. And then lastly, negative 7 times negative 7 will be positive 49 n to the third power. So there you got it, negative 14 n to the fifth power, negative 56 n to the fourth power, plus 49 n to the third power. Let's go to number 21. It says now find the greatest common factor. The biggest thing that goes into 32 and 48, I believe, is going to be, let's see, well, usually you break these down. What if I take 32 and divide it by 2, that would be 16. 16 times 3, I'm fairly certain is 48. So I'm going to say 16 goes into both of these. So this would be 16, and then in parentheses, 2z minus 3. 16 parentheses, 2z minus 3 parentheses. See, the 16 times 2 equals 32, and 2z will make that 32z. And the negative 3 makes 16 times the negative 3, negative 48. Let's go to negative 23 now. 3 goes into both 3 and 24. So I'm going to say 3 on the outside, and in parentheses, y minus, I'm going to go with negative 8. 3 times y minus 8. Number 25, I see that 6 plus 16k, well, 6 doesn't go into both of these. Neither does 3. I'm going to say 2 goes into both of these. So this should be 2 times 3 plus 8k. 2 times 3 plus 8k. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 8k is 16k. All right, 27 is mine. It says here I've got 20z minus 8. I know that 4 goes into 20 and 8. So I'm going to say this is 4 times 5z minus 2. 4 times 5z makes 20z. 4 times negative 2 gives me negative 8. Number 29 is x. Let's see. What goes into 36 and 16? I'm thinking 4. I know that 4 times 9 is 36, and 4 times 4 is 16. I could also say 8, but that would not go into 36. So I'm going to refrain from that and say that it's got to be 4. So my guess is 4 times 9a plus 4b. 4 times 9a plus 4b. Now let's see, number 31. What goes into all these numbers? Wow. I'm thinking 3. So 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 10 is, or 3 times negative 10 will be negative 30. So I'm going to say 3 times, and we'll put parentheses there for the times, 3 parentheses, 4 plus 3g minus 10h. 3 times 4 plus 3g minus 10h. All right, looks like number 33 is mine. 32 is for you to do. Give me some room here. It says, your friend factors the expression. Is your friend correct? Explain the reason. And he says that negative 9k minus 27 equals negative 9 times k minus 3. That'd be incorrect. He was correct in factoring out negative 9, because negative 9 goes into negative 9k. It also goes into negative 27. But remember, since this is a negative, this would have to be positive. So, no, your friend is incorrect. Negative 27, in factoring negative 27, the correct factorization should have been negative 9k equals 27 equals negative 9 times k plus 3. That should have been a positive 3. All right, next it says factor out the variables, terms, factor the expression using greatest common factor. I know that 6 goes into 6 and 24, so 6 will be factored out, and D goes into D2 and D. So I'm going to say 6D times D plus 4. Oh, I'm sorry, I was supposed to do 35. Well, it's obvious here that we're going to factor out 3H because 3 also goes into 12, negative 4 times, right? So 3H times H will give you 3H to the second power, and 3H times negative 4 will give you negative 12H. All right, let's see, 36 is yours. That means I got 37. Let's see, I know that 32 and 56 both have 8 that goes inside of them. I'm wondering if something bigger than 8 can go in there. I'm going to try 16 because I know half of 32 is 16. What does 16 go into 56? Well, 3 times 6 would be 36. And when I bring that up, that would be 3. That would be, let's see, let me write this out. I can't quite figure that out in my head. Let's see, 56, does 16 go into it? And I'm checking to see if it goes into it. I would need it 6 times. No, it would not go into it 6 times. So I'm going to go with 8 is the biggest number that would go in there. So I'm going to say that this is probably 8, and then the parentheses. In fact, B will also get factored out, so because B is part of B3. So I'm going to say 8B, and then in parentheses times 4, because 8 times 4 is 32. B to the second power, because that B will get multiplied to B2. And over here, we'd have to put times, I believe, 7, or yeah, plus 7. So I see it's going to be 8B parentheses 4B to the second power plus 7. 8B parentheses 4B to the second power plus 7. All right, let's check out 39. What goes into 30 and 54? Well, I know that 3 goes into 30, and I'm pretty sure it goes into 54 because 3 goes into 5 one time, leaving 24, and 8 goes in there, so that's 18. So I'm going to say 18x. 18x, then put in parentheses, I'm sorry, that isn't going to, yeah, 3, I'm sorry, that would be 3, and then 3x, and then parentheses put 10, and then put 18x to the third power. So, oh, I'm sorry, that'd be 9, because they factored out 6. I did not take 3 and multiply it to 2. And I should have done that, because I knew inside of 10 and inside of 18, we could take both of those and half them to 2. 10 divided by 8, or 2 is 5. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So they factored out 6x. 6 goes into 35 times. So 6x times 5 will be 30x. And 6x times 54, well, 6 times 9 is 54. And then we would need x to the third power. So x times x to the third power will give us x to the fourth power. All right, let me see if I can get better luck with number 41. Again, I'm looking at different powers here. I can't combine these. I'm thinking that, let's see, I know that 4 will go into 12. I'm thinking 4 will go into 28, because 7 times 4 is 28. And I think 4 times 8 will be 32. So I'm thinking this is going to be, I'm going to factor out 4C. 4C, good. 4C times 3C to the third power. 4 times 3 would be 12. And C times 3 to the third power would be C to the fourth power. Then I've got 4 times negative 7, because negative 27 divided by 4 will give me negative 7. And then c times c to the second power would equal c to the third power. Lastly, 4 can get factored out of 32 8 times, because 32 divided by 4 is 8. And then we'd have c uh, over here, but no c's here because we would have to use this c to use this one. 42 is for you to do. That means all of mine are done. Good luck, and I will see you in class for grading.